Okay. So today we'll talk about the orientation on human body. In today's lecture, first we'll talk about how to define anatomy and physiology. Since this class is anatomy and physiology class, we'll try to see how to define those two fields. Then we'll talk about the branches of anatomy and physiology. What are the subdivisions of those two fields? Then we'll talk about different levels of organization of human body, from its lowest or smallest to the highest or largest level of organization. So we'll talk about different levels of organization of our body. Then we'll talk about different body systems. Human body consists of a number of systems. For example, in your body, you have cardiovascular system, right? You have respiratory system. You have digestive system. So our body consists of a number of systems, and we will go over those systems of our body one by one. Then we'll talk about necessary life functions and survival needs. What are the things we need, our body needs for its survival? So first, how to define anatomy. Anatomy is the study of the structure of the body. So anatomy is the branch of science that deals with the structure. Anatomy deals with the structure. So human anatomy deals with the structure of the human body, right? Okay. Now, the subdivisions or branches of anatomy. Anatomy has a number of subdivisions. The major subdivisions or branches of anatomy are gross or macroscopic anatomy, microscopic anatomy, and developmental anatomy. Gross anatomy is also called macroscopic anatomy. The term macro means what? Micro means small and macro means large, right? So macroscopic anatomy deals with the structure of the body without the help of microscope. So large structures, right? To see the large structures, you don't need the help of microscope. Like if I show you a heart and tell you, what is this? You can tell, right? Without the microscope, you can tell this is the heart. And if I ask you that, what are those tube-like things attached to the heart? You can tell these are the blood vessels, right? And if you cut the heart and see inside, you will see how many chambers? How many chambers the heart has? Four. So you will be able to see 4 chambers without the microscope, right? So those are the parts of macroscopic anatomy. You are studying the structure of the body, large structures of the body without the help of microscope. That is also called gross anatomy. Microscopic anatomy, micro means small. So if you want to study a cell, cell is the structural and functional unit of the body, right? If you want to study the structure of a cell, can you do with your eye? No, you will need to see it under the microscope, right? So microscopic anatomy deals with the structure of small things and needs the help of microscope, with the help of microscope. Like cell has intercellular organelles, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, those structures are inside the cell nucleus, right? So you have to study those structures with the help of microscope. You can't do without microscope. Now, microscopic anatomy is divided into two branches, cytology and histology. The term cyto means cell and histo means tissue. Okay? So cytology deals with the cells and histology is the branch of microscopic anatomy that studies the structure of the tissue in our body. Then developmental anatomy deals with the growth of the body. Now, you know that growth starts inside the mother's body, right? Inside the uterus of the mother. After fertilization, then cells start to multiply and form the embryo. And then embryo becomes fetus, right? Then after 9 months, about 9 months, the baby comes out and the growth continues, right, until puberty. So the developmental anatomy deals with the growth of the body, and that growth could be inside the mother's body and or outside of the mother's body, right? Because first part of the growth occurs in the uterus and then last part occurs in the outside of the mother's body. So embryology is a branch of developmental anatomy that deals with the growth of the body inside the mother's uterus and only first few weeks of growth included in embryology. Okay? So we know how to define anatomy. Anatomy deals with the structure of the body, and we know the branches of important branches of anatomy. Now, yes.
You said embryology is when the baby's inside the mother and the first few weeks.
First few weeks.
Inside the mother?
Inside the uterus, yes. Then it becomes what? Fetus, right? We don't say anymore embryo when the first few weeks are over. Then the baby becomes fetus. It becomes fetus. Okay. So now we'll talk about physiology. Physiology is the branch of science that deals with the functions of the body. Anatomy deals with the structure, physiology deals with the functions. Now one thing important here, remember that physiology deals with normal functions, not abnormal functions of the body. Example, if I ask you, what's the normal heart rate? What's the heart rate of a normal person, healthy person? Heart rate.
6,200.
Okay. Anybody else? You don't know your heart rate? Oh, okay. Usually we say 70 to 80, but if you say in big range, you can say, as you said, 62. 100 is not normal. So normally, usually we say 70 to 80. Okay, that's the normal heart rate. So if your heart rate, if you see someone's heart rate is 150 in normal resting condition, is it normal? Is it normal? No, it is not normal. So that's not physiology. That's not physiology. So if the function is normal, that is the physiology. And if the function, any function gets abnormal, that is called pathology. So pathology is the branch of science that deals with abnormal functions of the body. Okay? Anatomy and physiology are inseparable. Very good comment or sentence here. Anatomy and physiology are inseparable. Why? Our body has been made in a way that it can perform many important functions. Like your heart has been made in a way that it can pump the blood, right? That's heart has been made to pump the blood. And to pump the blood, heart must have a space, a cavity inside, right? So it can hold the blood and then pump, right? You see that heart has been structured in a way that it can pump the blood. Your blood vessels have been made, it's like tube-like structures, right? Blood vessels, arteries, veins, to let the blood pass through it, and blood will be distributed throughout the body through the blood vessels, right? So you see all the structures of our body have been made to perform particular tasks. Your joints have been made in a way that you can move the body parts at the joints, right? So structure reflects the function. So anatomy is the structure, physiology is the function, and they are inseparable. Okay. Okay, so now we'll talk about the levels of organization of human body from its smallest to the largest level. So we are starting from the smallest level of organization. The smallest level is the chemical level of organization. Okay? Chemical level deals with the atoms and molecules. So chemical level indicates the atoms and molecules. Then one step higher or larger is the cellular level of organization. So cellular level of organization includes the cells and their organelles. You know that our body consists of cells, and then the cells have the organelles like mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulums, Golgi apparatus, all those organelles are inside the cells. So that's the cellular level. Now, many similar functioning cells join together to form tissue. So tissue is one level higher or bigger or larger level of organization than cellular. So next to cellular is the tissue level of organization, and tissue is the collection of similar functioning cells. Many similar cells join together to form the tissue. Okay. Then next higher level is the organ level of organization, and organ consists of different types of tissues. Two or more different types of tissues join to form an organ. For example, if you see the heart, okay, if you see the heart, you know that heart has a cavity inside, and the wall of the heart is cardiac muscle, so muscle tissue. The wall of the heart is muscle tissue. Now, inner surface of the cavity, this here, if you see the tissue here, this is not muscle tissue. This layer is formed by epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue. Okay? So, you see here, muscle tissue, epithelial tissue, and the outer surface of the heart is covered by connective tissue. So just you can see that heart is an organ, and it is formed by muscle tissue, epithelial tissue, connective tissue. All those three type of tissues are present in the heart. So different tissues join together to form the organ. Now, the system level is one level higher or larger than the organization. And as I told you, our body has a number of systems. Example, cardiovascular system, right? Respiratory system, urinary system, all those are digestive system, those systems. And system is formed by a number of organs. A number of organs joined together to form a system. For example, your digestive system, right? Your digestive system has a number of organs. What are the organs? Your tongue, right? Mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, right? Rectum, all those are organs, different organs, they join together to form the system. Cardiovascular system, right? Your cardiovascular system has which organs? Heart, cardio means heart, and vascular indicates the blood vessels, right? So what are the blood vessels? Arteries, veins, right? Those are the blood vessels. So you see that each system has a number of organs, right? Your heart is an organ, your artery is an organ, your vein is different organ. So a number of organs join together to form a system. And then all those systems join together to form the organism. Organism is the whole body. Like our whole body is formed by those systems, right? Cardiovascular system, respiratory system, urinary system, digestive system, they join together to form the complete body. That's the organism. That's the highest level, right? Largest level of organization of the body. In the exam, I can ask you that I will put those levels in different orders, and I'll ask you which one is in correct order or sequence from its largest to smallest or smallest to largest, right? I can ask you that tissue is formed by what? Tissue is what? Tissue is the collection of similar functioning cells, right? Many similar cells join together to form the tissue. So I can ask all those kind of questions from just example, like this slide I can ask what type of questions to you. Okay. So those are the different levels of organization, and in this picture they have shown those different levels of organization from the smallest, this is the smallest, to the largest whole body. Okay. So first chemical level that deals with atoms and molecules, and then cellular level indicates the cells and their organelles. I'm repeating. Then tissue level. Here you say this is a muscle, smooth muscle cell, and many smooth muscle cells join together to form the smooth muscle tissue. And then this is an organ, blood vessel, and it has three different types of tissue that I have shown you in the heart here. Epithelial tissue, then the muscle tissue, and connective tissue. Okay? Different tissues join together to form the organ, and then the organs join together to form the system. Here they have shown the cardiovascular system, heart, and the blood vessels, arteries and veins, okay, from the cardiovascular system. And many systems join together to form the whole body or the organism. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Okay, now we'll talk about the systems of our body. Our body consists of a number of systems. How many systems our body has? Human body consists of 11 systems. Okay? And in next few slides, what I'll do, I'll go over those 11 systems one by one. Just remember that we'll go over those 11 systems in detail in NP1 and NP2. Some of those systems will be covered in NP1 and other systems will be covered in NP2. So we'll go over those systems in detail in future, right? So today, just we'll go over those systems to know two things. One is that the important parts or structures in each of those 11 systems, and then important functions of those 11 systems. Only will focus on those two things. We'll see like the structure of each of those systems and the functions of major important functions. Okay, so just keep those two things in mind. First, if I ask you how many systems the human body has, say loud, everybody. 11. Very good. If I ask you, everybody try to say 11 systems. So we'll go over those systems. First, we'll talk about the integumentary system. Integumentary system covers the body and separates the inside structures of the body from the environment outside. And integumentary system consists of skin. Skin is the main organ of the integumentary system. The major structure of the integumentary system is the skin. And other structures of this system are here, nail and glands. Glands means those glands are present in the skin. You know, sweat gland, right? And sebaceous gland, those glands, not internal glands. So, the main organ is the skin, and other structures of the integumentary system are hair, nail, and glands in the skin. Main functions. Protection. Skin covers the body and separates the internal structures from the outside of the body. And skin protects the internal structures of the body from outside harms, outside harmful things. Our body is protected by the skin. You can all understand that if something hot, very hot, touches your skin, right? Your skin will take that heat, right? It will protect the internal organs. If something bites you, your skin will take that injury first. So protection is number one. Synthesis of vitamin D is another important function of your skin. You know that when sunlight falls on your skin, skin produces a chemical that is called, so this is sun. When sunlight falls on the skin, your skin produces a chemical that is called cholecalciferol. And cholecalciferol is an inactive form of vitamin D. Not active, but inactive form of vitamin D. Okay? And cholecalciferol then from the skin goes to the kidneys. So blood takes that cholecalciferol from the skin and takes where? To the kidneys. And inside the kidneys, cholecalciferol will be converted to a chemical that is called calcitrol. And calcitrol is an active form of vitamin D. Okay? So, inactive cholecalciferol, which is produced where? In the skin, right? With the help of what? Sun. Very good. And blood takes it to the kidneys, and cholecalciferol will be converted to calcitrol, which is an active form of vitamin D in the kidney. So you got some important information here, and I may ask this in the exam, right? So these are the kind of questions you will get in the exam. I can ask you that which chemical is formed in the skin, which chemical? That's the cholecalciferol with the help of sun. And cholecalciferol is what, active or inactive? Inactive form of what? Vitamin D, right? And to make it active, it should be taken to the kidneys, because kidneys have activating enzymes. We are not going to talk in detail of that. Just know that within the kidneys, the cholecalciferol will be converted to calciferol. That's how the skin helps in the production or synthesis of vitamin D. Houses cutaneous receptors. In your skin, you have cutaneous receptors. What are the cutaneous receptors? Your skin has pain receptors, temperature receptors, touch receptors. And because of presence of those cutaneous receptors, you can feel those sensations. Make sense? If someone touches your skin, your body, you can tell without seeing, right? That something has touched my body, right? Why? Because in your skin you have touch receptors. Your skin has temperature receptors, cold and hot receptors. And because of the presence of receptors, if the temperature in this room increases, you can feel it, right? You can feel that temperature has been increased because your skin has the temperature receptors. Cold receptors, hot receptors, those receptors are there. Pain receptors. If something bites you, then you can tell, right? You can feel that pain. And all those cutaneous receptors are extremely important to protect your body. As I told you, if the temperature in this room increases, if your skin didn't have any temperature receptors, you won't be able to tell, right? But that heat will cause harm to your internal organs. So before the heat harms your internal organs, your skin can detect that temperature has been changed, right? So you can escape, you can get out from this room, right? If something bites you, or if something is burning your skin, if you don't feel pain, then you want to move your hand away, right? You want to move away, and your body will get burned. So your cutaneous receptors are extremely important. In some creatures, they are heavily dependent on their cutaneous receptors for their survival. Okay, they can detect the environment, and that is very important for their survival. Okay, so cutaneous receptors are very important. Skin has glands, sweat and oil glands, and sweat glands are very helpful in regulating the body temperature. You know that when you do exercise, what happens? Sweating occurs, right? Why? When you do exercise, metabolism increases. And metabolism produces heat. You all know that, right? Heat is produced inside the body. And then sweating occurs. And sweat takes the heat out from the body. The water that gets out, that takes a lot of heat out with it from the body. So your body temperature will go down, right? So sweat glands help in the regulation of what? Body temperature. Okay? Regulation of body temperature, that is also very important, right? To reduce the body temperature. And oil glands keep the skin smooth and soft. Right? So those are the important functions of the glands. Sweat glands regulate the body temperature. Oil glands keep the skin smooth and soft. Okay, next is the skeletal system. Skeletal system consists of bones and joints. So now this is the skeletal system here, and the skeletal system is the skeleton. It is nothing but the skeleton. And we know that skeleton consists of bones and bones join to each other at the joints. Okay? Now, important functions of skeletal system. Number one is protection. Very important function of your skeletal system. Best example is inside your skull, you have the most important organ of your body. That's the brain, right? Which is extremely delicate and important, and is heavily protected by your cranial bones, skull bones, right? So that's the best example how your skeletal system or bones are protecting your body organs. Here, this is the thoracic case, and you know that some very important organs are located inside, right? Your heart is here, and heart is being protected by the thoracic case. So that is another example. Your lungs, large blood vessels are here. So those organs are being protected by the skeletal system. So protection is number one. Supporting the body. You know that bones provide attachment to the muscles. All skeletal muscles are attached to the bones. And by providing attachment, bones are supporting those muscles and helping the muscles to stay in right locations in your body. Also, some organs are supported by the bones. For example, your brain is located inside the cranial cavity, and that cavity is formed by the bones, right? So the bones are supporting the organ. Here, this is the pelvic cavity. Here, this is called the pelvic cavity, and your uterus, urinary bladder, other important organs are here. Okay, and the pelvic bones are supporting those organs. Make sense? So, support is another important function of the skeletal system. Okay. Helping in movement. We know that bones join at the joints, and bones form the joints. And by forming the joints, bones help in the movement, because we move the body parts at the joints. If you didn't have any joints, you won't be able to move. So bones form the joints, and joints are the locations where we move our body parts. Make sense? So movement or locomotion is a very important function. Blood cell formation. Inside the bones, you will find red bone marrow. And red bone marrow is the primary site for the blood cells. Blood cells, RBC, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, all are formed in the bone marrow, mostly. So primary site, just know that bone marrow is the primary site for the blood cells. Okay? So that is another function. Storage of minerals. If you break a bone and do the chemical analysis, you will see bone is formed by some important minerals: calcium, phosphate, magnesium. All those important chemicals are heavily present in the bone. And when your body, for example, if your blood has decreased amount of calcium, like calcium level in your blood has dropped, in that case, what will you do? The bone will release the calcium, because bone is heavily formed by calcium, magnesium, phosphate, right? So bone will release some calcium to the blood, and blood level of calcium will go up. So storage of minerals is another important function of the bones, and they help in the regulation of those minerals in the body. Muscular system. Muscular system consists of the muscles, and skeletal muscles are attached to the bones of the body. So you will see the muscles, those are attached to the bones of the body, those are the skeletal muscles. And the muscular system allows manipulation of the environment, locomotion, facial expression, maintaining posture, and production of heat. So those are the functions of your muscular system. If I'm giving the same example, if the temperature in this room increases, what you'll do, you'll run out, right? You'll get out from this room. And your muscles, skeletal muscles, will help you to move your body parts to move away. So that is, we decide that if we will stay in this room or we move to a better environment, right? So that we can do with the help of muscles, locomotion, movement, facial expression. In your face, you have a number of tiny skeletal muscles, and those muscles help in facial expression. What are the facial expressions? When you get angry, right? Your face changes. When you are happy, when you smile, when you cry during the test. So all those expressions are given by your skeletal, small skeletal muscles in the face. Okay. Mastication. Although I didn't place here, mastication is the digestion of the food. When you put the food inside the mouth, you chew the food, right? So that is helped by your muscles. So that is also important. Production of heat. If I ask you to go outside in a midwinter night without clothes, you'll see your body will eventually start to shake, right? Why body shakes? When your body shakes, your muscles shake, right? Your muscle contraction occurs, and that activity of the muscles will produce heat because metabolism will increase. It's like exercise. When you do exercise, your muscle activity increases, right? And that produces heat. So production of heat is another function of your skeletal muscles. Okay? So it will increase the body temperature. So that's the muscular system. We don't have much time today. This is the last slide we talked about. The nervous system. The nervous system is the most important system in our body. How many systems we have in our body? 11, very good. And out of those 11 systems, 2 systems are called the controlling systems in our body. That means they control the other systems. Which 2 systems? The nervous system and the endocrine system. Those 2 systems are called the controlling systems. The nervous system and the endocrine system, okay, those 2 systems. And they control the other systems of the body. And among those 2 controlling systems, the nervous system is more powerful. Okay, nervous system is more powerful. Nervous system consists of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. So those are the parts of the nervous system. How many brain we have? 1. Good. So 1 brain. How many spinal cord we have? It is a cord-like structure that descends from the brain. 1. And we have many nerves, right, in our body. So 1 brain, 1 spinal cord, and many nerves together on the nervous system. And if I ask you which 2 systems, probably I will ask you this question in the test, that which two systems are called the controlling systems or control systems, the nervous system and the endocrine. And nervous, I said that nervous is more powerful. The reason is the nerve signal transmission is done by electrical means, electrical signal transmission. Nerve transmits the signal by electrical means. Electrical signal transmission is fast or slow? Extremely fast, right? The electricity runs extremely fast. So your nerve, your brain sends signal to the muscles by electrical means. So very fast it will go to the muscles, right? So that's why the nervous system is more powerful, because like you have a problem in your house and you need to fix it immediately, and you know two guys, one guy is very lazy, comes slow, if you call, he will come like few hours later, another person will just show up, right? So the person will come first, he is more powerful and he is more efficient, right? So your nervous system is more efficient than the endocrine system in controlling. But the endocrine system is also important. Why nervous system is more powerful? Because it acts very fast. Because it acts by electrical means. Okay. The functions of nervous system. Nervous system is the most important system in our body, and it performs thousands of functions. Okay. So we are not going to talk about all those functions in today's lecture, because we'll talk about the nervous system in different lectures. So in that lecture we'll talk more about the functions of the nervous system. Okay, so just know that it is the most important controlling system of the body. Okay, so let's stop here. If you have any questions, can